Hi everybody, this is a video about learning agreements in Mobility Online because we always get a lot of questions about learning agreements, and that is because students they have to fill in their learning agreement, but a lot of the times something goes wrong or they have submitted their learning agreement when they still have to make changes. I can show you what that looks like for the student. I have found an example student. Here, and if you click here, you can see what her workflow looks like. So, as you can see, here, learning agreements submitted. Well, before this they can make changes to the learning agreement, and then they can add different courses to the learning agreement, and after that they have to submit it. And once they've submitted it, it will be visible for you in the pipeline of the student that you can accept this learning agreement. But sometimes students already submit it, even after reading this, only after entering all courses. Please note that you cannot change anymore after you have submitted your learning agreement. Sometimes they forget that, or sometimes they still have to make changes because of something that happens afterwards. So then you want to change it. You have already accepted it, so what do? Okay. Now, we go to the pipeline of this student. Pipeline. As you can see, you've already accepted it. So you can only look at the application here. You can look at the learning agreement. If you click on this, you can get a PDF file or a Word file of the learning agreement. And you can print it if you want, but you can't do anything else. Okay? So what do if you still want to reject the learning agreement again and allow her to make changes? Well, in that case you have to first unsign the learning agreement. So in the maps here, you go to the students and to applications, and then below you can unsign the learning agreement. And it takes some time to load this page, but what will happen is you see this and you write down her last name and it will find it. And make sure this example is from last semester, so if you want one from this semester you'll have to change it into 2015-2016, so pay attention to that. Okay, so we want to look for her, unsign her learning agreement, and it's going to look for her, and this is her. So if we want to unsign it, we tick the box and we unsign it. I won't do that now because it will only cause more trouble. Okay, so once that's done, then you will be able to reject it again, and then the student is able to make changes again. Okay, so there are two steps. You have to unsign it and then you can reject it. Then there's another thing. This learning agreement is made before the student goes abroad, but then sometimes when the student is abroad, it happens that while they are abroad, they want to make changes to their learning agreement because some courses might have dropped out, or you don't know, whatever reason. So then they come into this step, changes to learning agreement. The students are asked if they want to make changes, yes or no. And then these changes, if no, then nothing is the matter and the learning agreement will be the same. And if yes, she has to fill in which courses are added and which ones are deleted, and then you'll have to accept or reject that again. Okay, and sometimes the same thing happens in this step, and you also want to unsign the learning agreement again, and the whole process the same. as I told you before. Okay, so we will look at what that looks like in the workflow of the students, the changes of the learning agreement. It's all the way down here. So she will have to confirm her original learning agreement or change the courses. We'll see what that looks like. She decided that she wanted to make changes to courses in her learning agreement. If she would want to change any of this, she would have to click forward to update and then select yes or no, and then select update again. And I should have decided it. Okay. And then after making the changes, she would submit them. She'll have to print them, get them signed again by you, by herself, and the host institution. And maybe she'd want to make changes to the responsible persons in the learning agreement. Sometimes that happens, and she can also change the dates of her study abroad. And then she can get the signatures again. Okay? I'll show you what her learning agreement looks like. The final thing. This is what it would look like to her. And as you can see, these are the different courses, so she has to fill in each course separately. And here you can see how many credits each course is worth. And here you can see if they are deleted or added courses. So this course is added after the change, as you can see, yes. And these courses are deleted. So she deleted 2 courses, and after the change she added 3 courses. And these 2 courses were 10 credits together. She deleted 10 credits and she added 3 courses which are also together 10 credits. So she still has 30 credits combined. I'll also show you what one course looks like. If she has to fill in a course, she has to fill in this information, the name of the course. This is an optional thing, so if there's no course unit code at the host institution, she doesn't have to fill it in. And the important thing is this: when students study outside of Europe, the number of foreign credits at the host institution can differ from the number of ECTS. Okay? So because this student is studying in Europe and all of Europe is oh no, she's in the Tampere University, but it's also Europe, so all of Europe is ECTS, so then these are the same. These are just both 5. But for example, if she would study in America, then for example 15 credits would be equal to 30 ECTS, for example. So the student has to, if they have questions about that, that's why there are 2 different boxes to fill in. Okay, so well, that's it, and I hope it's a little bit more clear to you now. And if you have any questions, otherwise you can always contact Mobility Online at fontys.nl or studyabroad at fontys.nl. Thank you very much for listening and have a nice day.